Chair Shot Reality on Wrestling Inc., your #1 procrastination tool on the internet. Bench playlist for you to watch every single weekend. He's Josh. I'm Justin. Josh, let's take a look at the past week here. On NXT TakeOver, you have Shayna Baszler and Nikki Cross. A great performance there. Shayna Baszler, what great facials and looks like a heel. Sunday, you have Carmella with the James Ellsworth return. You have Alexa Bliss winning the Money in the Bank. You have Ronda frickin' Rousey looking like she's been doing this for years.
Yeah.
And then everything carries over into Monday and Tuesday. So I ask you, right now, let's look at the state of the women's division. What's standing out to you #1 right now?
I mean, obviously Rousey's performance. I think Rousey's performance speaks volumes. The way she sold, the way she was able to make Nia Jax look like she's 270 pounds. And a lot of the times we see Nia Jax having to alter her in-ring technique to cater to the smaller women, Alexa Bliss. Even Charlotte's and Charlotte's not even small either. But Ronda took it and she looked great. Alexa Bliss cashing in, I thought was really well done. They've had the story with Alexa and Nia for many months, and it's actually just reignited themselves at Money in the Bank. Carmella, to me, as much as I was loving the James Ellsworth pop, I think people knew it was coming. It was so well done. Him dressed up as Asuka, the wink, something so simple like that. The biggest thing that stood out to me was none of them. It was the fact that Asuka she's just Asuka now. She's not the Empress of Tomorrow. She's not on an undefeated streak. She's not intimidating. Asuka, to me, is a product of WWE's inability to get over talent that can't fluently speak English. And you've seen it with her. You've seen it with Nakamura. It's a problem, whether it's a problem with creative, a way to put them together and to present them in a product that the mass audience that they usually are at, obviously in North America and even England, that they see 10 months out of the year. I really think that Asuka, as much of a great performer as she is, she will become women's champion. She will get there, but at what extent? You see these characters of Carmella and Alexa succeeding more than in-ring talent. You have to be a character.
Right. I mean, Asuka, Nakamura, coming from being Japanese, coming from Japan, they're coming from a culture that has a whole different, alphabet, So, there's a reason why every character that's ever been Japanese or portrayed Japanese, whether it's authentic ones like them and her Nakamura, whether it's, a Samoan playing Yokozuna, or whether it's Matt Bloom as Lord Tensai, there's a reason why those characters have never been called upon to talk. It's been Mr. Fuji or Jim Cornette talking for him. It's been spit the green mist, throw the salt. And in the world of WWE, they need you to talk people into the building. So I think it's just it's just hard for it to translate. But to the state of the women's division, sure, I can certainly agree with you on everything you said about Asuka. But I think what I take away overall from this past week is, and we've heard rumors of this, and I mentioned it the last few times on the Wrestling Inc. podcast, is we have got to be getting close, and there is actually a need now, a true need, to have a women's-only show on the WWE Network. I'm not saying take the women off of Raw and SmackDown completely. Still, I think it's Jesus, you got 5 hours between the two shows. Certainly you can fit the women on there. But I think we're finding out that there's still more that can be flushed out in these women's stories, even including NXT, on a women's only show. Whether that means going to the next level and having a women's tag team, whether that just means getting more ring time for people like Lana, who the crowd connect to. And Lana has shown little bits it's just more ring time for characters, everything. And I think that right now we are finally at that point to where we've done. The women have all those. They have a Rumble match. They have Hell in a Cell match. They're at par with the gimmicks, and now they need to be at par with the programming. Give them their own show.
A women's tag team, I think, is the next best thing that they can do, because they have so many talented women that aren't getting as much consistent screen time as Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss and those. I mean, think about it. Bayley wasn't even in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. The Iconics, who are still fresh and still young, they're so annoying, but that's the best thing about them, is they're annoying. That's what you're supposed to do. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville has star power written all over her, based on a technical term and a physical look and presence. Mandy Rose obviously has that sexual appeal that I think most people love to see on a weekly basis. They want to see that blonde. They want to see somebody who's physically fit and who can compete. And we've seen matches with her where she can keep up with people. So a women's tag team would be the next best bet, but I don't want a women's tag team championship on each show, and I think it gets to a point where you have to find out which champions can float from show to show, because you don't want to have 12, 13 championships and every pay-per-view every pay-per-view have a championship match. You got to have more than that. You got to develop characters more than just a title around their waist.
No, I agree. I think you can have a women's tag team, one tag team championship, and ladies from Raw, SmackDown, or NXT can all just compete on that women's only show for the tag titles.
Yeah.
And then you can still have the world titles of the women's being promoted on Raw and SmackDown. But certainly, I think they're at a point now with the depth. They only continue to, put their bobber in the water of seeking out more talent with the Mae Young Classic. So they have no shortage of being able to obtain talent to fill this out. And the audiences, we're in a different time. There was a point to where there was a point in time where where more than 50% of the people watching in the arena or at home did just view the women as, okay, they're valets, or they're just there to be sex appeal. But things have moved on, and not saying there's not still people out there that feel that way, but there's a lot more people that are truly enjoying women's wrestling, and they're just better women's wrestlers today.
Yeah,
than there's ever
absolutely.
been. So I think we're finally at that place, and I think the state of the women's division right now screams that, based upon all that we saw and all that we have to look forward to, Rousey, Carmella, or otherwise. At Josh Eisenberg 4, hit him up for all of your WWE women's talk. Anything else you might want to get. At Justin Lamar, make sure you comment below, like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back next week as we are getting closer and closer to Extreme Rules here in Pittsburgh. Plenty of things to talk about all summer long.